This video is brought to you by Ridge Wallet, a slim front pocket wallet available in carbon fiber and titanium. With more than 250,000 sold, a lifetime guarantee and free shipping, get 10% off with the code GOLDFISH at ridgewallet.com. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another Instant Deck Tech. So as you know, Wednesday means it's Wild Card Wednesday here in Instant Deck Tech land, and this week's deck is pretty unique. I'm calling this one 3-Drop Stompy. It is a deck for Modern, and it comes to us from Hairu Dashi, who took it to a top 8 finish in one of our infamous small Japanese tournaments. So congrats to Dashi on a super unique deck. A quick reminder before we break down 3-Drop Stompy for Modern. If you enjoy this deck and you want to see it made into videos, take a minute, click the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment, anything you can do to support your deck, because whichever deck is most popular gets a shot at being made into videos next week. So 3-Drop Stompy is kind of this weird fast mana Stompy deck. So we start off talking about the mana. So the idea of this deck is we're going to play a lot of 3-drops, but to make this plan work, since our deck is literally all 3-drops, we need to play them faster than normal. We can't just go, land, go, then start playing 3-drops on turn 3. That's going to be way too slow for Modern. So we want to start playing 3-drops, hopefully on turn 1, definitely by turn 2. Ideally, we would go 3-drop on turn 1, 3-drop on turn 2, 3-drop on turn 3. Hopefully that's enough to win the game. So for fast mana, we start with not only Simian Spirit Guide, which we've played in a ton of decks, but kind of weird, bad green Simian Spirit Guide in Chancellor of the Tangle. So Chancellor of the Tangle is essentially a Simian Spirit Guide, but it only works as a mana source if you have it in your opening hand. We're probably never going to cast it. The big reason it's in our deck, though, is if it's in our opening hand, we get to reveal it in the beginning of our first main phase of our first turn. We get to add a green mana to our mana pool. So if we combine that with Simian Spirit Guide, that gives us extra mana starting on turn 1, and then we throw in our rituals, Pyretic Ritual, Desperate Ritual. So this gives us a massive 16 cards that can potentially allow us to play a 3-drop as soon as turn 1. If we have essentially any 2 of these cards in our opening hand, that is a turn 1 3-drop. I guess we need one of Chancellor and Simian Spirit Guide, one of Ritual or Ritual, but these combinations let us play 3-drops on turn 1, and then any single one of these cards, except for Chancellor of the Tangle, so Simian Spirit Guide, Ritual, Desperate Ritual, lets us play another 3-drop on turn 2, and that's kind of the plan of the deck. 3-drop on turn 1, 3-drop on turn 2, 3-drop on turn 3, hopefully that's enough to win the game. So that's our fast mana. Part 2 of the deck is our 3-drops, and we have many of them. So we start off with Magus of the Moon, good way of janking opponents out of the game. If we can play this one on turn 1, make all non-basics into mountains, a decent amount of decks just can't function under that. And if it is a deck that can eventually get out of the Blood Moon lock, we do have a pretty fast clock with the rest of our 3-drops. So Magus of the Moon, the jank them out 3-drop. Then we have our ultra aggro 3-drop. So Handwear Garrison, Goblin Rabblemaster, actually sort of similar. These are cards that if we play them on turn 1, either our opponent has an immediate answer, like a Path to Exile or a Lightning Bolt, or they're going to win us the game in short order. Handwear Garrison doesn't have haste, unfortunately, but when it attacks, it comes along with 2 1/1 humans that are tapped and are attacking, so it's hitting for 4. Those tokens are sitting around, so the next turn is hitting for 6. We can start doing this as early as turn 2. Goblin Rabblemaster pings in for 1 right away with a hasty token, is a big attacker on its own, keeps making tokens every turn. Captain Lannery Storm not only comes down and gets in an early attack, but it gives us that treasure, which is another way we can make sure we continue to play our 3-drops. If we land a Restore on turn 1, then lands plus the treasure token on turn 2 gives us another 3-drop. So then we're playing the Goblin Rabblemaster to go with it, the Handwear Garrison to go with it, and just keep attacking and swinging with these 3-drops, hopefully fast enough to close out the game. Otherwise, Rishkar Pima Renegade is a little bit similar to Captain Lannery Storm. It's a 3-drop that grows our other creatures and can make extra mana if we need to by putting a counter on something, but it's a way to grow our Rabblmasters and Handwear Garrison. Tireless Tracker's a little weird because it's not as aggressive as our other ones. It's more of a card advantage 3-drop, but it does give us a way to stay in the game if the game goes long. So it's not as exciting on turn 1. We really want to be starting off with the Rabblmasters, the Magus of the Moons, the Handwear Garrisons, but as the game goes along, drawing some extra cards with our clues, a nice little bonus to keep us drawing our 3-drops. Rounding out the top of our curve, we have a card that essentially gives us 2 3-drops, hopefully, Collected Company, and this deck has some very scary Collected Company hits. Unlike some of the other other decks that are hitting like Spell Quellers and Reflector Mages and being obnoxious, we're just all out aggro. We're hoping to hit like Rabblemaster, swing in for a ton of damage, kill you super quickly. And this is another card that in theory we can play as early as turn 1, more likely turn 2, turn 3, but all of our fast mana does help us get Collected Company to get even more 3-drops. In the mana base, we got a few special lands. Full 4 copies of Gemstone Caverns. If we are on the draw, it's a nice extra mana source. Another way we can play a 3-drop a turn early. Handware Battlements, we do have Handware Garrison, might be able to flip it around. Otherwise, we can just use our extra mana to hasten our Tireless Trackers and our Handware Garrisons and all that stuff. Shinka, just make sure that our legendary 3-drops gain first strike. We don't really have many. It's pretty much Captain Lannery Storm as far as legends are concerned, but it's essentially a free roll since it is an untapped red source. Otherwise, pretty typical stuff. Fetch land, shock land, some basic lands. As far as the sideboard, we got more 3-drops. Goblin Chain Whirler to deal with things like Lingering Souls, Affinity, other small creature decks. Kitchen Finks, if we're somehow getting out aggroed with our super aggressive deck, gains us a bit of life, blocks a couple times. Hazoret, not technically a 3-drop, but we do empty our hand really fast thanks to all these rituals, so it can come down, is indestructible, get in a ton of damage. Chalice of the Void and Blood Moon give us some more jank amount cards. You probably notice 0 1-drops in our deck, so if we're in a matchup where opponent's looking to Serum Visions and Path to Exile and Fatal Push, Chalice is a great way to protect our 3-drops from removal. Blood Moon for more jank amount power. We can play it on turn 1 because it is technically a 3-drop even though it's not a creature. Shatterstorm to deal with artifact decks. And that is the beauty of 3-drop Stompy for Modern. And that's our instant deck for today. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.